Hello students, welcome back. I hope you all are doing your kitchen garden because this is the right time to start your kitchen garden. It has already started raining and you can sow the seeds and get the crop, right? That is get your veggies grown, right? So all the best for your kitchen garden project. You all know that this carries marks. You have to click the photograph and send it to me as early as possible so that I will upload it and show to all your friends, right? So please start and all the best, right? Now, let's get start with today's session. I hope you remembered last time I had explained you about irrigation, right? And I had told you the different methods of irrigation. The first one was the traditional method which the farmer used to use in olden days. This traditional method actually requires a lot of manpower as well as animals for, yes, for removing the water from the reservoirs, right? Now, the second method was about the modern method, that is irrigation by sprinkler and drip method, which is very effective, wherein we can say very efficient and saves the time also as well as water also, right? So this method is used nowadays. Now let's go to the next part. Now today we are going to start with the weeding, right? Now before we start with weeding, I would like to tell you, children, farmers face many problems, and I want to make you aware what the farmer now is facing the problem. I hope you have heard something about the locust attack. Yes, have you heard in the news? Yes. Now, what is this locust attack? Children, locusts are the small insects which belong to the grasshopper family, right? And these locust swarm has attacked India, right? So I want to share this particular video in which you will understand how the locusts have attacked India. Please watch this interesting video.
Swarms of locusts have invaded vast swathes of land in India since April 11th this year. They entered several districts of Rajasthan via Pakistan's Sindh province. Few days later, they entered the neighboring state of Madhya Pradesh. Many districts in Uttar Pradesh have now been put on alert. This locust attack has affected about 90,000 hectares across 20 districts in Rajasthan. Favorable rain-bearing winds aided their transport towards India. This quickly growing swarm is now threatening to amplify into an agrarian disaster. A huge challenge is likely to emerge when they start breeding. Last year, mature locusts had entered parts of India after a gap of 26 years. But the locusts that have come in this year are immature. Immature locusts are not fully grown and have the capacity to cause more harm. They also have a longer lifespan. The locusts which entered India were about 10 to 12 days old and were flying huge distances in search of food. Since the Rabi crop harvesting is over and the Kharif sowing season is yet to begin, they were unable to find any vegetation. They will now start laying eggs after the onset of monsoon and continue breeding for 2 more months. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization, the destructive power of a typical locust swarm can be enormous. The size of these swarms can vary from less than 1 square kilometer to several hundred square kilometers. A 1 square kilometer swarm contains about 40 million locusts. They can eat as much food as 35,000 people, assuming that each individual consumes 2.3 kg of food per day. Most countries combating locust swarms are mainly relying on organophosphate chemicals. These are applied in small concentrated doses by vehicle-mounted and aerial sprayers. Drones have been deployed for controlling locusts in Rajasthan. A drone can spray pesticide on nearly 2.5 acres during a flight of 15 minutes. In Uttar Pradesh, local villagers have been asked to make noise by beating thalis and bursting crackers. Officials say these measures will help in controlling or eliminating locusts at their resting place. The UN Food and Agriculture Organization, however, has warned of more such attacks along both sides of the India-Pakistan border. But for a country which is already battling the pandemic, this is yet another challenge.
Okay, I hope you have seen the video now. Children, did you hear the word pest and pesticides? Yes, these are nothing but the insects that attack the crop. And these pests are going to attack the crop, and that is why the farmer uses the pesticides, right? A chemical which is spread, right? And it kills this pest. In your textbook about pesticide, more information is not given, but still I felt like in giving you information related to the pest, so I have shown this video. Now let's go to the weeds, because what are weeds now? As I shared the picture, can you see the weeds grown in a crop? Can you see the grass down? Yes, these are the weeds. Now weeds are the unwanted plants that are grown in a cultivated field. They compete for nutrient, space, water, light, and therefore adverse effect to the crop. Means these weeds will eat the nutrients, they will have the water and light, use the water and light of the crop and create problem for the crop. That is why weeds are not good for the farmer, right? Weeds interfere even in the harvesting and may be poisonous for the animals and human beings. Yes, means what happens if these weeds keep on growing in the field, and when the field is fully grown and these weed seeds also mix with this crop, they may be poisonous, because weeds are poisonous, right? And if they are eaten by human being or by animal, they are going to create problem for them, right? So weeds are not good for animals as well as human beings. This is a picture of the common weeds. This is not there in your textbook, but still I felt like sharing it with you. Can you see the crabgrass? Can you see the giant ragweed? So these are the different types of weeds that are grown in the field, right? Now, the farmer needs to remove these weeds from the field. So the removal of weeds is called as weeding. What it is called? Weeding, right? So method of removing the weed is called weeding. Now, there might be different ways by which the farmer is going to do this weeding. Yes, the first way is walking in the field and pulling out the weeds or removing the weeds with the help of a kurpi or a sickle, right? So this is the first way by which the farmer is easily going to uproot the weeds. Second is by mechanical methods, means some kind of machine is used. As I told you prior about the hoe is used for removing the weeds. So when the hoe is used in the field with the help of a tractor, if it is used for removing the weeds, that is called as a mechanical method. As well as I had explained you during the tilling, that is plowing of the field, also farmer removes the weeds using the weedicides. What are weedicides? The chemicals that are used for killing the weeds are called as weedicides. So by using this also, the farmer can remove the weeds. Weeds can be controlled by applying weedicide. These are the chemicals which kills the weeds without damaging the crop. As I told you, weedicides are what? Again, the chemicals which will kill the weeds, but they will not damage the crop, right? These chemicals are diluted with water and then spread with the sprayer to the field, right? So these chemicals are first very strong, so they need to be diluted and then they are spread in the field. Since these chemicals are toxic, that they are poisonous. Toxic means poisonous. Therefore, farmers should cover their mouth and nose while applying these weeds. Right? So as these chemicals are dangerous, they need to cover their mouth. Okay, I am sharing this picture. Can you see on each bottles or can you see a poison written there? Yes. In the white part, can you see the white triangle? Can you see the poison written? Yes, it is written poison zehar. Means what? These all weedicides are poisonous, right? Delphon 2,4-D, metachlorosenzin is, all these are the weedicides which are poisonous, but they are used in field. Right? The best time of removal of weed, there should be a proper time the weed should be removed, right? Before they produce the flowers and seeds. You all know that if the flowers are produced and seeds are produced, what is going to happen? They are going to get dispersed, the seeds are going to get dispersed, and more weeds will grow in the field. So before that, they have to be removed. As I explained you before also, the names of these weedicides, right? In this, one organic weedicide is added, that is neem extract. Neem extract is a liquid or oil from neem, right? And it's a organic weedicide, right? It is used by the gardeners also, commonly used by the gardeners, right? Now, they will not show any effect on the crop. But yes, we studied, I told you before also, they are not going to create problem to the crop, but what they are going to do, they are going to kill the weeds. Okay, the right time of spraying the weeds is after 30 to 40 days of sowing. Once the crop is start growing after 30 to 40 days, that is where the seeds are germinating, the weedicides is to be applied. If it extends more than 40 days, what is going to happen then? It will already damage the crop. Means what will happen? Whatever nutrients the seeds needs to grow, the new seedling needs to grow, that will be used by these weeds for growing, and then they will damage the new seedlings. That is why it is to be, yes, weeds are to be removed before. Okay, the controlling of the weeds in the growing crop with weedicide increases their yield and ensures the efficient use of irrigation, fertilizers, and plant protection measures such as spraying of insecticides and fungicides. Children, what do you mean by this? If the farmer is using its weedicide in his field, means what will happen because of that? The whatever the farmer is using, the fertilizers, whatever water he is spraying in the field, whatever fungicides or whatever insecticide, what protection measure he is taking, that will be given to the crop only and not to the weeds. That is why he will get the proper yield, right? Now, there are some harmful effects of these weedicides. As I explained you about the harmful effects of the chemical fertilizers, and I told you about the pesticides also, they are not good. Similarly, the weedicides also are not good for human beings. The farmer should cover their nose and mouth with the piece of cloth during spraying the weedicides. Why this he should cover his mouth with the cloth? Because these chemicals are not good to inhale, right? This is because spraying of weedicide may affect the health of the farmer. Keep it away from the eatables of animals as well as human beings also. Don't allow animals to graze in the field after spraying the weedicide. When you breathe it, what will happen? These are very harmful and they will aggravate your respiratory tract. They will cause damage to your respiratory tract. That means what? You all know that respiratory tract means nose, throat, lungs, even all these respiratory organs will get damaged because of this. A person can get disease like cancer because of this. Oh my god. Then they may cause defect in the babies, means newborn babies will get the disease which will cause a defect in their body, right? It is harmful to the environment also. They are not, the weedicides are not, any chemicals that farmer use is not good for the environment, right? Now I'm sharing this picture. Can you see the farmer is using how much of weedicides? My God. Now, can you see this picture? I've shared this picture because I want to show the difference. Can you see the farmer here? He's using a gloves. He's taking proper precaution to cover his mouth also. What is this farmer doing? Can you see? My God. This is going to create a problem to the farmer. If he is not going to take care of himself, and with that same chemical hand, if he intakes the food, what is going to happen? He's going to face a huge problem. Now I'm sharing this video. I feel that every one of you, please watch this video. This is a video of uh, of a famous uh, film star, that is Amir Khan. He was hosting a program named Satyameva Jayate, which is really an eye opener. I feel you all should watch this video and then come back to my class. You will come to know how dangerous the chemical fertilizers, pesticides, and weedicides are. Okay, I hope you have seen the video. Now let's go to the next step that the farmer has to carry out. Now the farmer is very happy because it's a harvesting time. He has done his all job and now the crop is ready. So the cutting of crop after mature is called as harvesting. Harvesting is a process when the farmer collects the ripe fruit or crop from the field. Reaping is the cutting of the grains or pulses from the harvest, typically using a sickle or a reaper, right? The harvesting is very important task. Now, when the farmer when the field is fully matured, the crop is fully mature, we can say, the farmer has to reap that crop, has to cut that crop, and that is called as harvesting. Now harvesting, after the crop is harvested, the farmer follows two steps. The first is the threshing and the second is winnowing. First one we will study now. First is threshing. Now what is threshing? Can you see the picture? In that, what you can see in this threshing process, what these ladies are doing? They are loosening the edible part of the grain from the chaff to which it is attached. Okay, in this step, what you can see, this step is after reaping, and in this, what the farmer does, or what the women's are doing, they are, you can see, they hitting that particular or beating that particular stalks of grains and trying to separate the seeds from it. Now this threshing is done three ways. The first is the manual method, second is by animals, and third is by machine, right? Now how it is done manually and how it is done by machine as well as by the animals, I'll share this. Just see this picture. Can you see in the first picture? It is done with the help of an animals, right? Now, in the second picture I have shared with the machine. Now, I am going to share the video in which you will get to see all these different three methods by which the farmer is going to do threshing. The first video is when the farmer is doing the threshing of rice in his field. So please watch this video. After that, second video is about how the farmer is doing threshing with the help of animals, and the last video which I have shared, it is how threshing is done by the farmer using the machine, right? So these three different methods, please watch these videos and come back to my class. Okay, as I said, in harvesting, two steps are there. First is threshing, second is winnowing. Now, what is winnowing? The winnowing is the process of separating the heavier and the lighter components of the mixture by wind or by blowing air is called as winnowing. I hope you all remember you have studied separation technique methods in 7th standard, in which you have already studied threshing and winnowing. So I'm not going to go in more detail. I hope you remember what you have learned in the prior classes. Okay, in this method is used by the farmer for separating, as I said, the lighter husk and the heavier grains. Can you see here wherein this lady is doing the winnowing process, and you can see the lighter one getting blown by the wind and the heavier seeds are getting collected down. Now this winnowing also is a simple method of cleaning the food material from the mixture, right? Now I am sharing the video in which you will get to see how this is done. Now, the interesting part is nowadays the modern farmer is using an harvester to cut the crop. Now, as if the farmer is having a large area of land, suppose he is having a 10 acres, 20 acres or 40 acres of land, with the help of labor to do this harvesting, it will take a lot of time. So instead of using the labor, what he does is he uses the machine, and this machine is also called as a combine harvester or a combine machine, in which you will get to see what happens. From the first part you can see the machine cuts with the help of the blade, harvests the crops. Then this harvested crop is taken to the back part of this machine, wherein it is threshed and then winnowed, and then you can see the seeds or grains get collected in the containers. I am sharing the video in which you will get to see how actually the combine harvester works. It's a very interesting video. Please watch how the heavy machineries are used by the farmer. Okay, now the interesting part, harvest festival. What is harvest festival, children? As you know that the farmer does all his hard work, and once the field is ready, he needs to celebrate. In India, festivals are followed by solar calendar, and that's why actually it starts in January. The new year, is the start of harvest festival. I hope you remember about Makar Sankrant. Yes, very good. Right. The single this the sign what happens actually due to the festival is a season wherein the farmer is tired of doing his monotonous work, same work all the time. He's tired of his routine, and that's why he needs to celebrate. He needs a break, and that is harvest festival. Can you see a picture wherein I have shared the harvest festivals of India, right? Wherein food is very important in the harvest festivals. Yes, the harvest festival is a celebration of food that has been grown in the land by the farmer, right? It marks the time of the year when all the crop that had been sown in and cared for around the clock for so many days are to be harvested. During this time, the sight of the golden field of standing crop and laden with grains, that makes the farmer's heart fill with joy and a sense of well-being, and that's why he needs to celebrate that. So the efforts of the past season has borne fruit for him, and that is the time for him to relax and enjoy a little, and that's why the harvest festival. In India, harvest festival, Makar Sankranti, as I told you, Pongal, Uttarayan we call it, then it is Lohri. Now the names are different, but the thing what they are doing, they are celebrating the harvest, right? Holi in February and March, Bihu, as you know, right? Baisakhi, April, and Onam in what we can say August and September month, and these are the actual important festivals, that is harvest festival in India, right? I have shared this picture, interesting picture. Makar Sankrant, Bihu, then Lodi, and as well as Pongal. Rice is cooking during Pongal. Then, yes, yes, Punjabis, what they do? Bonfire, right? Makar Sankrant, kite in Gujarat. Yes, even, and we eat laddus, right? Til ke laddus. Do you remember that? Okay. So, I'm sharing an interesting video. Please watch this video and then come back to my class. It's all about joy and festivals of harvest in India, celebrating the festival of harvest by the farmer. Yes, I hope you have seen the video. Yes, now let's have a quick recap what we learned. I explained you about the weeds and weedicides, right? How the weeds are removed, right? And what are the harmful effects of weedicides. Then I explained you about the harvesting. What is harvesting? Then in harvesting, there are two steps. Which are they? Yes, threshing and winnowing. And lastly, what we enjoyed? The, yes, the harvest festival, right? I hope you have understood. I hope you have understood the whatever I have explained. Okay. I hope you have understood everything. Okay. Bye-bye.